Om Shanti. Good morning, Diamond Morning. Every day Baba is teaching us, just remember him. Do not remember anything else. But it's so slippery because if we don't become soul conscious, it's difficult to go to Baba. So the whole yukti is being soul conscious, having love for Baba, understanding the time we are in. As the song says, this is the most auspicious time. And this is the only time we can have a relationship with Baba. So let's listen to this sweet versions of Baba of the 22nd of July, 2023. In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, when you die, the world is dead for you. To belong to the Father means to break the consciousness of bodies. No one except the Father should be remembered. Question. What slogan should you always remember as you see the final moments coming closer? Answer. The wealth of some will remain buried. Kings will take the wealth of some, and the wealth of others will be looted. ... Constantly remember this slogan, because mountains of sorrow are now about to fall, and everyone will die. You children have come to sacrifice yourselves completely to the Father. Everything of yours is being used in a worthwhile way. You sacrifice yourselves for one birth, and the Father sacrifices himself to you for 21 births. For 21 births, you will not need any inheritance from your physical mothers and fathers. Then from the copper age onwards, the reward you receive is according to your actions. And the song of Baba's Murli. I am just a small child, and you are the Almighty. I'm just a small child. मैं एक छोटा सा बच्चा हूँ, तुम हो बड़े बलवान, प्रभु जी मेरी लाज रखो। मैं एक नन्हा सा, मैं एक छोटा सा बच्चा हूँ, तुम हो बड़े बलवान, प्रभु जी मेरी लाज रखो। मैं एक नन्हा सा Om Shanti. Human beings understand that God is the highest on high. God is always known as the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. His name is elevated, and his place of residence is also elevated. He resides in the highest place of all, the Supreme Region. Now, since he is referred to as God the Father, everyone must surely be his child. It cannot be said that we are the Father With the notion of omnipresence, everyone becomes the Father. He is known as the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the one who resides in the supreme region, the land far beyond. He is God, the highest on high, which is why all the devotees remember him. They even say, God has come here to give the fruit of devotion to the devotees. That Father is the creator of heaven, and so the creator would definitely create the new world. So where would he come from? So where would he come? Would he come into an impure world or a pure world? Just see, this is an aspect that has to be imbibed very well. You're not small. The organs of your bodies are mature. You know that everyone remembers the Father. They understand that there is sorrow here. They say, take us to a place of peace and happiness. According to the drama, the Father has to come. This drama is predestined. There can be no change within it. The cycle of the world history and geography continues to rotate. The four ages continue to rotate. The confluence age comes after the Iron Age. This is the age of charity. The benevolent age is between the Iron Age and the Golden Age. This is the most auspicious age. That is, it is the age to become. What do we become in this age? This is the most auspicious age. That is, it is the age to become the highest of all, to become those with the highest code of conduct. There is no other age as elevated as this one. The confluence of the golden and silver ages is not elevated. There is a loss of 2 degrees of happiness in that. The praise is of this confluence age. You understand that the Father is the highest on high. It is not that he is omnipresent. Children make many mistakes, but these mistakes have to take place according to the drama. I come. So what is the reason for Baba's coming? So many mistakes are being made. Up to the Murli, I come and free you from making mistakes. The Father says, you call me God, the highest on high, but I make you children even higher than myself. This is why devotees remember me. However, because of the notion of omnipresence, they have put me in the dust, and they themselves have become poverty-stricken and unhappy. Bharat was a land of happiness. It has now become a land of sorrow. The Father says, I now make you even higher than myself. I reside in the supreme region, in brackets Paramdham, in Brahman, the element of light. You also reside there, but you come down here to play your parts. You understand that Brahmins are the highest of all, the top now. Therefore, what symbol can be used for Shiv Baba, the highest on high? He is a star, as is a soul, so the supreme soul. A soul is a sparkling star in the middle of the forehead. The form of a soul is that of a star. This drama is predestined. All souls reside in Brahman, the element of light, in the incorporeal tree, which is also called the land of Nirvana. Souls come from the incorporeal world, the sweet home. This is now a land of sorrow. There are many partitions. There were no partitions in the Golden Age. Bharat was the most elevated land. Baba is called the truth. Baba says, I come, another reason for his coming, I come to establish the land of truth. Therefore, surely the new world has to be established and the old world destroyed. Mountains of sorrow are about to fall. Mountains of sorrow are now about to fall. The wealth of some will remain buried. ... This is often said, Baba says, some will be looted, etc. The government will take some, says ... Back to the Murli. They also understand that by creating bombs and showing each other a stern eye, everything will ultimately be destroyed. However, they don't realize who is inspiring them to make such things. It is mentioned in the Gita that missiles emerge from their stomachs. All of that is a question of the intellect. They make bombs in order to destroy their own nations. There are three armies, Yadavas, Kauravas, and the Pandavas. The Yadavas and the Kauravas fight each other and destroy themselves. There is no fighting between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. You do not battle with anyone. You're Raj Rishis, who have the power of yoga. Sannyasis are Hatha Yogi Rishis. Those versions were spoken by Shankaracharya, and these versions are spoken by Shivacharya, Shiva the teacher, brackets. It would not be said Shri Krishnacharya, that is Krishna the teacher. He is now taking knowledge in order to become Sri Krishna once again. That kingdom is now being established. You are becoming divine flowers from impure thorns. You also heard in the song, come and uplift us sinners who are as bad as Ajamil. It is said that the purifier is also the Satguru, the one who transforms you from ordinary humans into Narayan and makes you into the kings of kings. This is your aim and objective. This is a school in which we become Narayan from an ordinary man and Lakshmi from an ordinary woman. There is no question of blind faith in this. There is an aim and objective in schools. You have come to the Father in order to claim your unlimited inheritance. You have to claim your inheritance of that place Here, that is a land of happiness. This is a land of sorrow. You heard in the song, I am a small child. You are children. Some are 25 years old and some are 20 years old. Baba says, even a child of one day can claim the inheritance. That is one day to come to take this knowledge, not in terms of age, physically, but how long you are taking this knowledge. Back to the Murli. The unlimited Father has come to make Bharat become like a diamond once again. In the Golden Age, there were so many palaces of diamonds and jewels, don't even ask. Then when the path of devotion began, the impure kings created temples like Somnath. The kings too had temples. Nowadays, they continue to build many temples. Who would have built a main temple? It must have been those who became worshippers from being worthy of worship who built it. The praise, the soul is a worshipper and becomes worthy of worship does not apply to the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. His praise is unique. The praise of every human being is different. The highest praise is of the Father, through whom you receive the inheritance for 21 births. Then from the copper age onwards, you become children of your physical fathers, and you take birth according to the actions you perform. By donating wealth, you receive an inheritance of temporary happiness for one birth. Kings too become ill. You do not become ill in the Golden Age. Your average lifespan will be 150 years. There, you remain so healthy. There is no trace of sickness or sorrow. Shiv Baba brings a gift for you, children. This is known as, what is this gift that he brings for us? Which he often says, back to the Murli, this is known as heaven on the palm of his hand. You have to make effort. No matter whether you belong to the Sun dynasty or the Moon dynasty, or you become a wealthy subject, you have the aim and objective to become like Sri Krishna. However, Sri Krishna never spoke these versions. These are the versions of God. It has been explained that this is the sacrificial fire of the knowledge of Rudra, in which you claim self-sovereignty. Many told stories have been written in the scriptures. By sacrificing yourselves to the Father sacrifices himself to you for 21 births. The Father makes you, children, the highest of all. Those who reside in the Brahma element are the masters of the Brahma element. You become the masters of the world. I do not become the master of the world. Baba does not become the master of the world. We become the masters of the world. Back to the Murli, he says, I come in order to make you that. Another reason for his coming. You call out, O purifier, come. Come and purify us. In that case, how could he be omnipresent? Only the one Father is the purifier and the one who grants salvation to all. At this time, everyone has become Tamopradhan. Everyone has to pass through the stages of Sato, Rajo, and Tamu. To begin with, everything is Satopradhan, and it then becomes Tamopradhan. In the Golden Age, deities are Satopradhan, and then in the Silver Age, they become Sato warriors of the kingdom of Rama. After that, they become Rajo merchants, and then Tamu Shudras. These are the different castes. The variety form image portrays deities, merchants, deities, warriors, merchants, and Shudras. However, they have omitted the father and the Brahmins. You Brahmins are even higher than the deities because, very interestingly, Baba is saying, why are we higher than the deities? Often we will say that we know Baba, we recognize him. But today he's giving a very unique answer. He says, you Brahmins are even higher than the deities because you do elevated service of Bharat. You are following Srimad. You receive the most elevated, the highest of all directions from God, from Shri Shiv Baba, through which you become Sri Lakshmi and Sri Narayan. Then, when Maya enters you, you become devilish. Baba comes every cycle and explains to you in this way. Baba has placed the urn of knowledge on the heads of the mothers in order to change humans into deities. Sannyasis consider women to be the gateway to hell. They defame them, and then they go to those same mothers and beg for alms. Therefore, that death increases. This is why they have to take rebirth in a household and renounce everything again. How could there be so many sannyasis if they didn't take rebirth? Bharat was pure. It was called a completely viceless world. People go in front of idols and sing their praise. And their praise, you're full of all divine virtues, whereas they say of themselves, we are virtueless, we have no virtue. You are full of all virtues. This praise does not belong to Shiv Baba. It applies to the deities, but because of not having full knowledge, they sing this praise in front of Rama and Sita. They celebrate the birthday of Shiva, but they do not understand anything. Therefore, the Father says, your third eye of knowledge is now opening. Deities do not have a third eye. In the pictures, deities are shown with a third eye. That, in fact, belongs to you. However, the third eye of some opens and then closes again. They listen to this knowledge and become amazed. They like the knowledge and relate it to others. Then they run away. Many good children are defeated by Maya. The Father inspires you to battle with the five vices and gain victory over them. Otherwise, there is no battle. You now belong to the clan of Brahma, and you will later become deities. You've now come from the Shudra clan into the Brahmin clan. At this time, the cycle of the whole world is in your intellects. This play is about to end. The Father has now come, another reason for his coming, to take you back. Maya has made everyone impure. The Father says, now become conquerors of sinful actions with this fire of yoga. This requires effort. You don't need to do anything other than remember the Father. Baba, we were yours. You sent us into the golden age, where we continued to take rebirth. Then we entered the silver age and continue to take rebirth. The Father also tells this one, Brahma Baba referring to, Shiv Baba is referring to Brahma Baba. Back to the Murli, he said to him, you did not know your own births. I am telling you how human beings take 84 births. There is no question of 8.4 million births. The duration of the cycle is only 5,000 years. Those scriptures send you into a deep sleep. The Father has now awakened you. After waking up, you claim your inheritance from the Father. You are small children, some of 3 months old and some of 4 months old. When you belong to God, you die and the world is dead for you. When you belong to Baba, your body consciousness breaks. The Father says, whilst living in your bodies, whilst living at home with your families, remain like a lotus. In the golden age, your relationships were pure. Then you became those who belonged to the impure household religion. It is you who belonged to the deity religion who take 84 births. You're also the ones who start performing devotion. You are the ones who become worshippers from being worthy of worship. In the beginning, your devotion was unadulterated. Devotion has now become adulterated. Once again, you are to receive your inheritance from the Father. The Father has to come at the conference age. They speak of God coming in every age. In that case, they should specifically say 4 ages. How can they say that there are 24 incarnations into a fish and an alligator, etc.? God is one. The Creator is one. And his creation is also one. Acha, okay. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bapdada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Essence Vedharana, first point. In order to claim self-sovereignty, sacrifice yourself to the Father. Constantly keep your aim and objective in front of you. Make effort to become part of the Sun dynasty. Second point. Constantly keep open your third eye of knowledge, which you have received from the Father. Pay total attention so that Maya doesn't enter you. Become a conqueror of sinful actions with the fire of yoga. Baba's blessing for today. May you be a conqueror of attachment and an embodiment of remembrance, and stay constant and stable by making the Father belong to you in all relationships. In order to become a conqueror of attachment and an embodiment of remembrance, make the Father belong to you in all relationships. Do not let your intellect be attached to anyone in a physical relationship. If there is attachment to anyone, your intellect will wander. You will sit down to remember the Father, and instead of that, you will remember the one you are attached to. Some have attachment to money, some to their jewelry, and some to their relationships. Wherever those things are, their intellects will go there. If your intellect is repeatedly pulled by those things, you cannot remain constant and stable. And the slogan for today, make nature your servant, and sadness will go away. Om Shanti. Do have a very powerful day in Baba's sweet remembrance.